Worlds apart, I search for the road from me to you, O Hussein. What veils and what worlds exist between myself and Hussein? Worlds apart, I search for the road from me to you, O Hussein.
Hazrat Qasim was my hero because he was at such a young age, and he still went out to fight for Imam Hussein.
Imam Hussein, because he not only gave away his life, but he gave away his family's life just to save Islam. So Hazrat Ali Asghar, because he was very small, and his sacrifice showed to people that no matter how small you are, you can still be there to help the Imam.
Between myself and Hussein, can one who the heart.
The courage of Imam Hussein and all of his companions.
Al-Atash, the cries of the thirsty children.
Selflessness.
A sacrifice, because Imam Hussein sacrificed his family and his lifestyle for humanity and justice.
From his servant.
He who wanders the world of love.
I feel like I'm going back in time just to remember the tragedy of Karbala.
Worlds and my eye searches for your figure, so too your.
Never give up and always stand up for your religion.
And yet still worlds apart I stand, even if worlds.
Has to be Hazrat Abbas, because he was a trustworthy and a faithful companion. I learned to have self-control over my desires because of Hazrat Abbas.
Bibi Ruqayya, because of her patience in traumatic times.
Hur. In the end, Hur made a choice between good versus evil. And he made the right choice.
Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. And I just think he inspires me as well, the same personality, because he's such a good mixture and balance of strength and courage and love and affection.
Hur had the option of choosing either Jannat or Jahannam, and he chose Jannat.
Main thing I would say would be Bibi Zainab and Imam Hussein.
The personality that inspires me the most is Lady Dulham. She was not a martyr, but she was the wife of Zuhair bin Cain. And Zuhair bin Cain was initially very reluctant to even meet with the Imam, but it was his wife who encouraged him to at least meet with the grandson of the Prophet and hear him out. Lady Dulham reminds me that a woman can have a very powerful influence in encouraging her family members towards the path of God.
Imam Hussein, because of his strength and bravery leading the Muslims in battle.
Time can stand still when I'm entranced by your mention. Is it fair that time can stand still when I'm entranced by your mention? Yet it's
courage and faith.
Bravery, true bravery.
Truthfulness and your taqwa.
Beauty.
Sacrifice.
I would say sacrifice and taqwa.
Human dignity.
Leadership.
Cannot return to you when left you there a whole nation and you stood there amongst the dead in your eyes, but death's reflection drawn in your eyes.
He went on a mission not for himself. He went for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do goodness for humanity for time immemorial. And for that reason and that reason alone, his message and mission will never die.
I think that the messages that we learn are still very powerful and inspirational because of how relevant they are. And like lessons such as brotherhood, charity, sacrifice, and compassion still relate a lot to my lives and many others' lives.
And he stood for what is right and what is wrong, and he differentiated between that, tawalla and tabarra.
Because of justice, taqwa, and truthfulness.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam not only taught us religion, he had also taught us that we are able to stand for our rights as human beings and to be good people. I believe that everyone can gain something from his message.
Everyone can benefit from the message of Imam Hussein. The message transcends race, religion, color, caste, or creed. It tells us to stand for what is right and discourage what is wrong.
He fought for justice, and we still need to work towards creating a better and just society for all human beings.
Because it's timeless.
On it with her as I'm greeted, I see fire.
Those values that he stood for speak to humanity. It's not about religion, about race, creed, or culture. It's about the values that are intrinsic in everybody. And because those values resonate with the people, his message will always stay alive in their hearts.
Because of sacrifice, reaffirmation, desire, and justice.
And it was a movement which challenged the status quo of injustice, and I feel that every human being should still fight for justice for all human beings in all parts of the world.
Hussein's message is truly global and timeless, and I definitely think that we can all learn from it, and it can help us develop a better character and overall become better human beings.
That Karbala is eternal and Imam Hussein is immortal. There is no limit for the restriction of times he will be remembered for. He will always be remembered because of the stance he took against injustice. It means that even the worst of times, there is hope for someone like Hussein to stand against oppression.
Our past and future generations have and will always benefit from the message of Imam Hussein.
Calamity. I live in dreams with such deep love. Some dreams, all I see is beauty. Others, my heart stops.
Human desire to pursue freedom and justice.
To be truthful all the time and to depend on Allah all the time.
The personalities of Karbala gave their family, their wealth, and ultimately their lives in order to establish justice. Those inspire me to even be patient and to offer sacrifices in the path of God.
The unity of vision. When a community is united in their vision, ideology, and concepts, they will always succeed.
Firstly, by always thanking Allah for everything He has given me, to thank Him in the best of times and in the worst of times. Secondly, to stand up against injustice. An example that applies to me is if I see a classmate getting bullied, to stand up for them.
By giving great importance to Salat, just the way Imam Hussein showed us by praying on the battlefield.
To think of the oppressed people around the world and to stand up for the truth, no matter how hard things become.
Will you hear me cry out your name? Will you search for the voice that called for its beloved and burning flame? When veils between worlds...
Because what he stood for was universal. He stood for values that people speak about when they're talking about justice, about humanity, about peace, about righteousness. So all those messages are speaking to people who are not Muslims and will continue to.
Yes, everybody can benefit because what Imam Hussein did for at that time, he also applies in this world at the moment.
Because he took a chance in making a selfless stand for social justice, which shows us that we can make a difference in our society as well if someone hundreds of years ago was able to.
Yes, definitely. Standing for principle and operation and justice.
Imam Hussein's message is a universal one. It's a message of truth and justice that pertains to all times.
The story speaks to everyone in different ways. And the more you think about it, the more you dissect this topic, this beautiful topic, the more you will get out of, we will get out of it.
Because it teaches you to stand up for Islam, no matter how much hardship you have to go through to do it.
Will you recall those who served you? Is that not why?
Open your hearts to the people who stood against oppression and injustice. and just find out more.
Imam Hussein stood for truth and his rights.
It was an incident which happened over 1,000 years ago when the grandson of the Holy Prophet Muhammad stood up for truth and justice, and a lot of human beings are inspired by his cause, and they try to fight oppression and establish justice in the world.
I would tell them that he was a great man who stood up against oppression and died for humanity in a time where there was only darkness and destruction. I would tell them he sacrificed his family and children for those following after him.
I think I would definitely encourage them to attend programs like this, like the ones that we have tonight.
What else exists between myself and Hussein? Can one who the heart has stolen be worlds apart?